Now we all obviously question God sometimes and what decisions that He made in our life, but at the end of the day, we got to just put our trust and our faith into Him because it's really easy to like question Him. It's really easy to like have doubt. It's really easy to like not have faith a lot because we may not understand what God has for us sometimes, and at the end of the day, we all do it. And we all do it. We all had a moment where we question God, like God, like why is this happening to me? God, like I want to go back into the situation, but Lord, I know you took me out of the situation, and I don't want to go back. And sometimes when we question Him, we when we try to question the things that He took us out of, He we may question, we may try to go back into a relationship in which God took us out of. We might try and go into a friendship in which God took us out of. We might go back into anything, honestly, because we all question Him sometimes. Like I've questioned Him personally, and I assume, I hope, not hope, but I would think that you would too, because sometimes the decisions that the God makes in our life we may not understand sometimes, and that is okay because we're not supposed to know everything, you know. But what we shouldn't do is to try and go back and fix something that shouldn't be needing of fixing, but which God took us out of. For this example, a relationship, right? If God took you out of a relationship with somebody because He knew what would happen if you continue to be in that relationship and you try to fix things with that person and trying to get back into a relationship with that person, you're now questioning what God has done. Like, hey, God, like I wanted to be, I want to be in this relationship with a person. I don't know why it ended. I did everything perfect. I did everything, but God, why am I not with this person anymore? And when it comes to questions like that, yes, I've done it too. I've questioned, why have I been put out of a relationship? Why have I been taken out of this friend group? Like, why am I doing this? And I try to ease my way back into it, but only just now realizing, once I do ease myself into it and I do find my spot back into it, I'm now entering into a life in which God took me out of, but now I'm willfully going out of my own way, and I'm willfully disregarding God and what God has for me, and I'm now entering into a position, relationship, friendship, into with someone that God took me out of, you know. And we question this because we may have good memories with this person. We may have good friendship. We might have, good memories. We talked a lot. We hung out a lot. We did all these things, but we shouldn't question why God took us out of relationship, because He knows something that we may not. He may have heard those conversations that you haven't heard. He may have heard those gossips that that person talked about with other people, and now keeping that secret away from you. He may have done. He's heard everything that maybe you haven't, and maybe that's why God took you out of that relationship. Maybe the God maybe that's why God took you out of that friendship with somebody, because maybe He heard all of these things and all these bad things that this person talked about you behind your back, but in your mind, this person is perfect. They do all these things for me. They do all these great things. We've hung out a lot. This person is such a good person, but who is that person behind closed walls? Who is that person when you're not around? Sometimes fake friends are real, and we should honestly just keep our mind and keep our ears sound, because we may not know who this person may be. This person could possibly be in your life right now, and you may not even know it. But it's only comes to a matter of time when that person will ease out of your life, because God takes away people from your life that may hurt you even more. You know, that's just a really big thing, because we like to question in what God put to an end. We shouldn't put a question mark in where God puts a period. We shouldn't question what God put an end, because if God put an end, He closed that door. We shouldn't try and jump out the window, you know? We shouldn't try to find another way into the same thing, but God already closed it. No, it's done. God finished it. Let it be. It's done. You have something, God has something better for you in the future. God has already something better for you in store in the future, and you just have to have patience. Because with patience comes with great reward. If we don't have patience, then what are we going to be waiting for? We're not going to be waiting for anything, because we're not going to have patience. If we don't have patience, what is there good to come, you know? Because it's really it's really easy to like question. But at the end of the day, and what God closed that door for a reason. God made an end to something that you might think is a good thing, but in His eyes, in what He has seen, it's not good for you. Yes, it's gonna suck, because maybe you wanted to have a relationship with that person for a while. Maybe you saw good in them, but maybe that quote unquote good person that maybe you have thought maybe wasn't so good after all. And God knows what's better, and God knows what's best for you. Maybe He wants to take you out of that relationship, take you out of that friend group, isolate yourself sometimes to find out, to show you who sometimes people really are. And we may not even recognize it sometimes, because we get a false image of people, and when we're around them, but who are they really like behind closed doors, you know? Who is this person that you're with? Who is this person when you're not around? Who does this person have a relationship with God? Do they have a strong and deep connection with the Lord? Are they praying every day? Are they praying before they go to sleep? Are they praying when they wake up? Are they doing these things in a godly fashion? Are they doing these things? Because if they are, you're gonna know. You're gonna know by the fruits. And when you know somebody by the fruits, that's like a really great person, you know. Because sometimes when people have the fruits of the spirit, they have something we call now the Jesus glow. You know, they do all these great things. They're such a good person, and that's just something I find really amazing sometimes about people. Is because when they go out of their way to help other people and help you as well, it's just something that like you feel sometimes. We should have based off of feelings, but you know, yeah, that's just something I always wanted to add on that. But yeah, just don't question a closed door that God has closed. Don't question a door that God has closed, you know, because He knows everything that you may not. He knows He knows everything. He knows those conversations that person behind to talk bad about you. He just knows it all, and that's just a great thing, because if it wasn't for the Lord and taking us out of certain relationships, certain friend groups that we shouldn't be a part of, maybe our life would have been different. Maybe we would have become that next person to do those bad things and that those people were doing. Just at the end of the day, man, God took us out of that, and we shouldn't question it, because what God has closed can be closed permanently, and we can't find the way back. We obviously go willfully out of our way to find a way to get back, but it's only going to lead to more disaster and more destruction, and that's not what's best for us. That's not what's good for us. Yeah, that's just all I had. You know, don't put a question mark in where God put a period. That's just all I had, man. If you made it this far, I love you. I'll see you on next video. Just know that I love you and Jesus loves more. See you next video.